Welcome everybody to our very first episode of 5 Minutes of RGM. In this series, we are looking to speak with industry experts around topics on RGM to get their insights, understand the trends, and see where everything is moving forward. For the very first session today, we are joined by Stuart Hartley, who is an RGM expert working in Bacardi.
Hello everybody, I'm Stuart Hartley from Bacardi. I've got over 30 plus years commercial experience. My role at Bacardi is the Global Technology Director for both RGM and the Global Travel Retail business as well.
30 years of experience.
Hopefully I don't show my age too much.
I'm curious to hear how you see everything has evolved over the years and where we stand today. Very curious. Very quick introduction of myself. So I'm Okko Interding, based in the Netherlands, working for Visual Fabric. My background is also in RGM. So I've done global RGM at Reckitt for a little bit, global sales and also trade marketing. For the past 2 years, I'm working at Visual Fabric, a TPM, TPO software provider working in the RGM space as well. Where I manage our live customers and see how we can combine RGM with customer success. Without further ado, let me kick off with the very first question. Over the next 12 months, which RGM trends will matter the most for your business and where will you focus your team's efforts?
I think in these challenging times, I think mix is one of the most important pillars. It's an environment where the opportunity to get price increases is more difficult. So selling the right products in the right packs to the right customers in the right retail environments is absolutely key. We need to ensure we're leaning into consumer insights more than ever. As we're in the premium product space, margin and more focus on developing category stories that the retailer can understand and support is also really important. For other categories or brands, we may need to lean in with more top and bottom line investments and aggression to accelerate. So this needs, again, retailer support, and your joint business plan is going to be critical to balance your portfolio.
It's interesting that you mentioned then mix as the go-to one. Do you find that also you have a wider degree of freedom to implement changes in terms of your mix management, or is it challenging in your category?
Of course, it's challenging, but that's why leaning into those consumer insights and understanding where the gaps are allows you then to be able to find those opportunities to make sure that you're able to get that extra dollar that maybe be more difficult to be able to get a price increase directly with a retailer. So if you can find something unique, it's really key.
Do you find also mix is not something you were prioritizing as much a few years ago? It used to be more pricing, would you say, or would you say would be a different RGM lever?
We are definitely also being a key pillar for us as being price to trade terms. Because if we look at how much we invest, with our customers, it is quite sizable. And it's not necessarily about cutting spend, but aligning the spend around the customer strategy. So investing in the brands and categories that are growing to support this acceleration, which again links back into the mix. Over the last 2 to 3 years, particularly, the retailer buying groups, especially in Europe, they've just got so much stronger. So you need to ensure that your prices are defendable and that you're not exposed. So cross-border supply of products means you have to have the right products, right price strategy, or you end up losing margin, or you end up having retailers disrupting your trade. So focus on trade terms is really critical.
Exactly. Where do you see RGM helping to solve internal misalignment between areas like sales, finance, supply chain, marketing?
Okay, so that's a good question. I think I'm going to pick on another pillar, which is kind of promotional management here. It's important that you have strong promotional process and platforms to deliver baselines in base and promo. And you also have, from a financial perspective, from the financial stakeholders, you have a module around accruals and deductions and the trade promo optimization. From a marketing view, you need to make sure that you have, promo objectives linked to guidelines that are also part of your marketing strategy. But that also, I think, it improves the efficiency and speed of approval as well. You have more time discussing the exceptions, and brings you, like I mentioned earlier, in line with your brand strategy and your objectives. So stronger baselines meets the supply chain objectives and improves your availability and your cash from your operations. Your SKU accuracy levels also means that you have less out of stocks, and also at the same time, you also don't want lots of products in your warehouses, which again impacts your cash from your operations. So whatever way you look at it, I think, working really closely, cross-functionally, particularly in promo, really, really important.
Interesting. If you had to make one bold prediction about RGM 5 years from now, what would it be and why?
This is where I think I'm going to pivot to my tech bit, which is AI. I think ultimately, I think, in 5 years' time, it's going to become cheaper. It's going to become more scalable. And it will help us to overcome some of the key challenges we've got today. I think AI will definitely drive more RGM decisions with stronger recommendations, particularly around pricing, promo, and mix. And I think there'll be stronger focus on value realization as well, because AI will mean, like I say, more investment, which means you've got to get that value that comes through it. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, it's definitely the pace at which things are moving now across the industry is very impressive.
Exactly. And I think what AI will also help is two things. One is around data, because I think it's one of the biggest challenges that CPG companies face today. Trying to harmonize and fragmented data. And then the other bit is user adoption. People still revert back to the flexibility of Excel. So having agentics will help to drive stronger and better adoption back to the platforms and more standard ways of working, and help us to pivot away from that old pillar of Excel.
One more question I have, and then after that, another last one. What is one lesson you learned early on in your career that still shapes your RGM approach today?
The big one is around executional excellence. So everything we've been talking about today has been around planning, but ultimately, executional excellence is absolutely key. So you can have the best plan on a page, but if your enterprise is not able to execute effectively, your value will either take too long to realize, or your competition will take the lead and you miss the opportunity. So companies that are agile and focused on delivering that executional excellence are the ones that deliver a strong financial performance. So that is the one lesson I would say. Don't lose sight of making sure that you're executing. You've got the right products in the right place at the right time, and your visibility is absolutely spot on. Asking the right questions and understanding the direction of the customer still plays an important part today.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Wow, a lot of valuable stuff, Stuart. So for my final question, I'm very curious, who would you like to see in the next episode?
What I'd like to kind of understand is a little bit more around, some of the challenges, as we just mentioned, around the executional excellence. So how do you deliver that, and what's the feedback they were getting from the retailers? And then the second area will be the day-to-day life of an RGM person in a market, and some of the challenges that they would face.
Thanks a lot, Stuart, for joining us for this first session. We had a valuable discussion, super valuable input, and looking forward to connecting with the next one.